What is up, PP Nation? Today we are unfortunately talking about Supergirl again. Honestly, I didn't even want to talk about this movie again, but we just had so much to say and a lot of it was spoiler heavy, so we decided to just make a separate video instead. I was actually hoping we would be talking about Jackass this week, but unfortunately it didn't pan out that way. So without further ado, here's our Supergirl spoiler talk. Welcome to our spoiler section if you've seen the movie or if you just don't give a fuck. Now that all the losers are gone that haven't seen this movie, now we can really talk about this movie. Yeah, between you and me, I actually love this movie.
You thought we're gatekeeping this shit.
Dumbass. Nah, we're fucking with you. It was mid as hell.
Honestly, I'm a big hater, but I kind of want to break that a little bit. So I'm going to start with talking about what I actually liked about the movie. There's a scene in the movie where it explains how it's a little bit different than the comic books or other Supergirl media of how Krypton or how she survived after the Krypton explosion. And in this movie, I thought it was interesting. They had some weird technology that floated them to the sky and they became their tiny little utopia, but they started all getting sick from kryptonite poisoning because I guess the sun was turning the soil into kryptonite or whatever. And I really enjoyed that. I liked that. I like the emotion that the actress put on.
Yeah, that was one thing I really liked too. One of my favorite parts of the movie, actually, that whole flashback to Krypton. And like Krypton didn't fall in one day. I did like how part of them did survive, but yeah, through that kryptonite poisoning or whatever the fuck, the species, they didn't all ended up dying out. Kara was the sole survivor, and I did like that. You know, it makes sense, right? Like why she's such a party girl, because she's just fucking depressed all the time. She's fucked up. And you know what? I also really liked how Superman made appearances in this movie. He just kept, appearing back and forth, and I did like most of the scenes with them. And I did like how he was constantly checking in on her. He just wanted to make sure she's okay, how things going, like he missed her. But what I did not like is at the very end, this whole movie, he's calling her up like, hey, I hope you're doing okay. But then when she finally fucking comes home after, barely seeing him, all that shit, the only fucking living relative that he has, after she finally comes home, she's like, yeah, I think, I'm gonna stay for a while. They're like, okay, oh, cool, like, I'm glad. Like, he didn't give a fuck, dude. He's like, damn, so your dog, dude? Like, where's your dog gonna stay, dude? Like, he's kind of fucking up my apartment right now. That's basically Superman's attitude.
Yeah, exactly. During our Superman review, I was more positive about Superman than Sergio was. He was more critical about him being such a whiny bitch and always like complaining and doing like kind of acting like a man-child. And at the time, I was like, nah, he's acting like a regular person. He has struggles and he's stressed because there's like the whole world and everything. And to a point, I still feel the same way. But in this movie, it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, I appreciate him showing up and caring for her and everything. But I wish there was a little bit more like a superhero monologue or like some encouragement, something that makes you seem like, whoa, Superman really is someone that he's not just naive for being naive, but he's extremely knowledgeable and doing the good thing, or something to break the tone of being a man-child.
You know what? A motivational speech from Superman would have really fucking hit hard there. And you know what? Supergirl did have her version of like a heroic speech to that little girl, but that's a whole nother can of worms we're actually going to get into right now.
She was talking to that little girl, the one they wanted to kill her family or whatever with the sword. And at the moment, I was like, okay, this is actually a pretty decent scene. But then later on in the movie, towards the end, and this is a huge spoiler, but it's the biggest part of this movie that I'm like, man, this is a piece of shit. Throughout the whole movie, she's telling her that she should not go into the dark side. She should not kill anybody because she's pure. She needs to be pure, this and that. And me, at the moment, I was like, oh, okay, she feels a little depressed, but deep down, she wants others to do better. But then at the end of the movie, once she convinces that little girl, to not kill the main bad guy. By the way, who the fuck is this guy?
Where I can find the condoms at?
Aisle 16.
Like it looks. 13, 14. I copy. Yo, who?
Anyway, when she convinced him not to kill him and she leaves, she goes and fucking stabs him twice. She fucking goes and stabs him twice. Like, what the fuck was this movie? Like, well, what's the message? The fuck?
Okay.
And you know what? I'll play devil's advocate here. What I got from it is that her whole thing was, don't end up like me, kid. You know what I mean? Like, you're still pure. You can still live a good life. You don't have to be plagued by all this shit like I've been plagued, right? Because listen, like she's been murdering people up in like in the movie up until this point. Like some of the people that she like defeats, like she just straight blows them up, kills them. Like it's no like indefensible. She's just killing people like prior to that. So it only makes sense, right? Okay, if you're gonna kill all these people on this fucking like just random people, like why not kill the main person that's responsible for all this death and destruction? I even thought it was kind of silly, you know, to present it like with this guy, especially when they go out of the way to present that, oh, he's just gonna keep killing innocent people any chance he gets because he's a sociopath. He doesn't give a fuck. Which, by the way, who the fuck is this guy?
Let me get 20.5. Good looking, bro. Yo, who the fuck is this?
Well, yeah, indisputably, she was murdering all these people. She even left some people outside in space to die, right? In the context of the movie. But assuming the story of the movie, she never really killed anybody. They never really straight up say that she murdered these people or anything. It's just, you know, implied. So forgive me for thinking that maybe she's having a character arc. Maybe she's learning from Clark. Maybe she's learning herself how to become a better person. And her medium to become that better person is to preach her values to somebody else. Even if she doesn't really believe them. There's a flashback where she says like, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be good. I thought that was the whole message of the movie. But her by killing that guy, by the way, who the fuck is this guy?
Yo, P, pass the blunt, my nigga. Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
By her killing him, it just blows the whole message out of the water. Like it makes no sense to me. And if you wanted to have that guy die anyway, there's fucking Lobo. And it's hilarious that Lobo had to fucking kill some other guy that we don't even know anything about. It was just a fucking MacGuffin for him. Oh man, this movie's fucking trash.
All right.
No, and that's a fair argument. And you know, at the end of the day, maybe it boils down to that, you know, that classic, you know, Daredevil and Punisher argument of whether or not you have a right to take a life and that whole thing. But the point I'm trying to make is that Kara is telling that little girl not to be like her, but to be better. However, say in the same breath that maybe, you know, maybe I do want to be more like you. Maybe it's not so bad being more like you. You know, like it kind of clearly shows that she's going to be a mentor to this little girl. So it's like, I mean, monkey see, monkey do. So it's like, if you're going to, you know, it still contradicts itself because the movie's telling you and she's telling you that she wants to be just like Kara and Kara's telling her to be better. But then how about you lead by example instead of just killing that same guy, which by the way, I'm not saying that killing him was even a bad decision, but it's just like, I don't know, it just felt like she was a hypocrite. You know, it just felt like, okay, well, what the fuck was the point of that? And honestly, I couldn't help but think like the only reason she said that speech was because she wanted the kill, not her. Like, I know she killed your family and all, but she poisoned my dog, bitch. That's my kill. Fucking took that shit.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit.
I think we spent way more time talking about this than this movie actually deserves. But hey, you know what? Maybe whoever wrote this or directed this, maybe they deserve to hear that we're tired of this shit. I mean, I don't know if you guys feel the same way if you guys watch this. Maybe leave a comment if you guys agree with this, or maybe you think we're just those old grandpas yelling at the sky. But I don't know, I'm just kind of tired of this stuff.
No, yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of watching all these shit movies. I feel like they don't even understand what we want. It just feels like a product at this point. And honestly, hack it up, James Gunn. You kind of proved to me right now that everything you're doing is a fluke. Guardians of the Galaxy movies, I don't know. That was before the oversaturation of the style that just James Gunn shit's out. And honestly, just restore the Snyderverse. It was way better. Man of Steel, amazing movie. Batman v Superman does not deserve the hate. You people are just stupid if you don't understand it. And Justice League, the Zack Snyder Justice League, one of the best superhero movies of this decade. I don't care what anybody says. If you compare that trilogy to the entirety of James Gunn's DCEU, you will understand what I mean. It is garbage.
Tell us how you really feel.
You know what? I'll tell you how I really feel.
Supergirl. I was a little hesitant going into this one because I haven't been the biggest fan of James Gunn's work recently, although I did like Superman. I was excited going into this one because James Gunn was glazing the fuck out of this movie. And I will say, if you are tired of those generic superhero movies that cape slap, boy, do not watch this fucking movie. It is worse. This is the most generic movie I've seen in a while. It's extremely predictable. It's bland. It has no emotion. I don't remember any of the characters' names aside from Kara, and that's because of the CW show and the comics, not even because of this movie. The action could have been way better. Lobo was barely in the movie, even though he was marketed like as the main villain or whatever the fuck. And I don't know, I was just extremely disappointed, and I was just bored throughout this whole thing. It didn't even entertain me. It wasn't even a turn your brain off type of movie, because it tried too hard to be that type of movie. This is one of those movies I would definitely wait till it comes out on streaming, and that's if you're a fan of DC and Supergirl. If you don't give a single fuck about superhero movies, don't even bother watching this shit. Like, this is the type of shit that Martin Scorsese was talking about. It was like just like an amusement ride, except this one is fucking boring. It's like going through that SpongeBob roller coaster. And there's so much stuff that happens only to move the plot forward. And there's so many assholes in this movie that make no sense at all, but they only happen just so the movie can happen. I know she doesn't want to go public with it, and I love you, Millie, but Supergirl is super mid. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree completely. I couldn't have said it better myself, though I do wish I was a bit more optimistic with this movie. And I wish I wasn't so hot or so cold with these movies, and I could meet somewhere in the middle like you did. But honestly, this movie was just such a chore. It was so boring. I hated it. It was hard to follow. It felt like AI wrote it. There was no heart, no soul. It was a walking contradiction. And the sad part is that this movie could have been way better. It could have been a much simpler movie where Lobo is after the two girls and the side villain gets killed at the beginning of the movie. You know, it could have been way better. And honestly, I don't never want to see this movie again. I give this movie a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, we're done talking about super mid. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.